It was a cold winter night. The Carter family mansion was unusually quiet. Inside the dining room, 4 people sat around the table. William Carter, his wife, Emily, his business partner, Richard Hayes, and his nephew, Daniel. At first, it looked like an ordinary dinner. But sometimes, ordinary evenings hide extraordinary secrets. At exactly 10 o'clock, William stood up from the table. He apologized. Then he walked upstairs to his private office. No one followed him. At least, that's what everyone claimed. A few minutes later, the lights suddenly went out. The entire mansion fell into darkness. For 30 seconds, nothing could be seen. No one moved. No one spoke. Then the power returned. Life seemed normal again. For a moment. Then everything changed. Emily walked upstairs. She reached William's office, opened the door, and screamed. William Carter was dead. The police arrived quickly, and with them came Detective Michael Harris. While everyone focused on the body, the detective focused on the room. Something felt wrong. Very wrong. 4 things caught his attention immediately. A wall clock stopped at 10:05, a half-finished cup of tea, an open window, and a key resting inside the room. At first glance, the clues seemed obvious, too obvious, and that made the detective suspicious. The investigation began. Emily had a motive. William was planning to change his will, a change that could cost her a fortune. Daniel had a motive too. He was drowning in debt. Money problems had followed him for years. Then there was Richard Hayes. William had recently uncovered financial fraud inside the company. Richard knew his career was hanging by a thread. Everyone had a reason, but reasons don't prove murder. At first, everyone believed the crime happened at 10:05. The clock seemed to prove it. Even Richard mentioned the time with surprising confidence. But Detective Harris wasn't convinced. The next morning, forensic experts examined the clock, and everything changed. The battery had been dead for more than a week. The clock had stopped long before William died. Suddenly, the most important clue in the room became completely useless. The detective looked at the evidence again. If the clock was lying, what else was lying? The open window looked suspicious, but there were no footprints outside, no fingerprints, no sign of an intruder. The window wasn't an escape route. It was a distraction, a carefully planted distraction. Then the detective turned to the teacup. The tea was still warm when officers arrived. That detail changed everything. William had been alive much later than anyone believed. The timeline was wrong. The entire case had to be rebuilt from the beginning. Then another discovery arrived. Traces of tea were found on Richard's coat sleeve. Not the tea served during dinner, the tea from William's office. Richard had entered that room, a room he claimed he never entered. Now the detective knew something important. Richard was lying. But he still needed proof. The breakthrough came during one final meeting. All the suspects sat together. The detective displayed every piece of evidence, photographs, reports, crime scene images. Then he placed a photograph of the clock in the center. And that was when Richard made a mistake. A very small mistake. the kind people make when they think they're safe. He reacted to the exact time shown on the clock, 10:05. The detective immediately noticed, because that detail had never been released. No one should have known it, except the person who saw the clock before anyone else. The room fell silent. Richard realized what he had done. The trap had closed. Detective Harris explained the truth. During the blackout, Richard went upstairs. William confronted him about the fraud. The argument became heated. Voices rose, tempers exploded. Then came a single push. William lost his balance. He struck the edge of the desk and died. Panic took over. Richard opened the window. He staged the scene. He hoped the clock would point investigators in the wrong direction. For a while, it worked. But not forever. Faced with the evidence, Richard finally confessed. The case was over. As officers escorted him away, one officer turned to Detective Harris. "What first made you suspicious?" The detective looked at the old clock one final time. Then he smiled. "Because real clues whisper. They don't shout." And with that, the mystery of the stopped clock was finally solved.